Hey everybody, welcome back to Call Me at 7. If you're new here, my name is Stephanie. Today's episode is about bank fees. I'm picking up from the last video where I was talking about how to make sure we keep an accurate balance in our checking account. And the reason that we're talking about fees is if you are being charged bank fees for different various reasons, are you subtracting them out of that balance? Remember how we talked about getting that good healthy balance and subtracting out everything that the bank is subtracting out. If the bank is subtracting it out, deducting it out of your balance, you should be deducting it out of your balance as well, because all of those fees will add up to give you a different balance than what the bank has. So the first one I have on my list is maintenance fees or service fees. Okay, are you paying monthly service fees? So you will know that if you're looking at your bank statement, whether it's your paper statement or whether you're going online every single month and looking at your statement, you want to be looking for all of your fees. You want to be looking at all of the negative, looking at all of the debits. You want to see what's coming out of this account that I'm not aware of, okay? So look for all of your maintenance fees and service fees. And if you are getting those fees, you may want to ask yourself or go to the bank and ask them, why are you getting those fees? Can you avoid those fees? And sometimes, sometimes they may say yes. There is another type of checking account that you can get to avoid this $5 service fee or maintenance fee, whatever they call it. Now, but be aware, because just because the individual work at the financial institution doesn't necessarily mean that they know everything. And they may even know, but just aren't smart enough to tell you the downside of having that account. For example, your account right now may have a service fee, but the other account that they may offer you and say, hey, this account right here doesn't have a monthly service fee. But if you are a check writer, it may be limited check writing privileges. Like if you write more than 5 checks that month, they'll charge you a service fee. Or if your balance falls below a particular amount, there's a service fee. And that kind of goes into my second one, a minimum balance bank fee. So they may say in the fine writing that you have to read, it may say, hey, if your balance goes below X amount, then there is a service fee. So you want to look at all of that to see if it's better just to keep the account that you have and just make sure you deduct that service fee, or is it better to change to something else that fits your lifestyle a little bit better? The next one, and the most important one, and in my opinion, it's the most dangerous one, is overdraft protection. And I'm going to talk about overdraft in 2 different ways. And your bank or your credit union may call it something else. Some may call it privilege pay. Some may call it overdraft protection. So if you don't know what overdraft protection is, let me explain it to you a little bit. So if you have a checking account, you have the ability to set up your savings account as the overdraft account, or you can set up an additional checking account if that's what they offer. So you can have 2 checking accounts, one primary and one secondary. So you can have the second checking account as your overdraft, or you can have your savings account as an overdraft, or you can have your money market account as an overdraft protection account. Meaning, so if you have your debit card that comes from your primary checking account and you swipe your card for your purchase, and that purchase is $300, but you thought you had the $300 in your account, but you only have 100. Okay, so come through and the system will say, oh, wait, they don't have $300 in their account. They only have 100. So the system will look into the alternative account for overdraft and say, oh, they have the additional $200 in that account. Let's pull it from that account. And they'll pull it from that account, put it into your checking account. Perfect. Your $300 clear, and they'll charge your account that overdraft protection fee, okay, to pull that money out. That's perfect. Mistakes happen. Sometimes we get so busy until we don't think about pulling money from one account to put it into the other. But that goes back to the previous video that I was talking about. if you write down everything that's coming out of your account and you actually know what's in your account, you will know exactly how much you can spend. Know before you spend. You see what I'm saying? And to avoid a fee, you could always go onto the system and transfer money from one account to the primary account to make sure that there are no overdraft issues, make sure that there are no fees. Okay? So just be mindful of that. If you have overdraft protection, just be mindful that if it's pulled from one account to the other, it may charge you a fee. It may be $5, it may be $6. Check with your financial institution to see how much they are charging you for overdraft. Okay? So let's move on to something that's a little bit different, kind of the same, but a little bit different and more dangerous. And I call it overdraft protection also, but again, some companies may call it privilege pay. Some banks may call it privilege pay. And that is when they will allow you to overdraft your account up to $800. Friend, did you hear me? The system will allow you to overdraft up to $800 in your account. Okay? So I'm saying this because I know from seeing customers in the past complaining, they would say, hey, why would you allow me to overdraft my account this much? Why did you let this amount go through? Why would you do that? Why did you not just return the check? Why did you not just reject the debit when I was at the store? And they'll say that they didn't know. And where I'm going at is the problem that's being created. So if a bank will allow you to overdraw up to $800, that's $800 being overdrawn, plus they're charging you a fee for each account, for each purchase that comes through that they overdraft for you. So you can be looking at right at $1,000 in the negative, okay? In the negative. So now, whenever your paycheck comes in, you're thinking, okay, my paycheck is coming in. I have obligations. I have plans. I have bills. I have things that I want to do. But when your paycheck comes in, you see that you are still negative $20. So basically, your whole paycheck has went toward your negative account. And yes, I have seen it happen many, many times. Many times. That's why I call it one of the most dangerous features that is available on the checking account. The banks will allow you to overdraft and go negative that amount, and you will owe it. But you have to understand, that's how banks and credit unions make the majority of their money, through fees. So if you are not balancing your account, whatever you want to call it, whether you use a spreadsheet, whether you use the manual checkbook register, it doesn't matter how you do it. We need to start keeping up with our balance. Because like I said, once you become negative and you have bills, you have obligations, everything just snowballs, and it's like you cannot dig yourself out of the situation. So that's why I'm making these videos for my friends. I'm making them so just trying to bring awareness to our spending habits, bring awareness to understand what we're spending, and keeping a tally of everything that we're spending, because we're going to work, we're making the money. We should not be in business to try to give our money away to the banks and the credit unions. We should be trying to keep as much money in our pocket as we can. All right. So if you have experienced that, leave me a comment. If you want me to talk more about it, leave me a comment so I can expand more on this overdraft situation. The last one is ATM withdrawals. A lot of us like to, when we're out, we may not want to swipe our card somewhere. We may just want to use cash. So the first thing we do is go to the nearest ATM, okay? ATMs charge fees. So I'm sure you know that. Some of us may say, oh, it's okay, it's just a little small fee. It's not okay. $3 here or $6 here. If it's an ATM machine that's out of network, your institution is going to charge you a fee, the other company is going to charge you a fee, the provider is going to charge you a fee. So we're just fees here and there. They call it nickel and diming. We're just being nickel and dimed back and forth with all these fees back and forth. So if you know you're going to be going out somewhere, if you can think ahead of time, swing by your credit union, swing by your bank's ATM so you know that you won't be charged a fee. So that basically will fix that situation. And I think sometimes if you go to the grocery store, but typically a grocery store, when you swipe your debit card, sometimes the system will ask you if you want cash back. Okay, so I think you can get cash back like that, and I don't believe that you're charged when you get cash back. Okay, so I think that's it for the fees, and I will see you on the next episode.